About 6 months ago, I was still a massive consumer on YouTube, but I wasn't watching entertainment, I was watching educational content, business videos, productivity videos, self-improvement videos. And I thought that it gave me inspiration, motivation, and education. That is why YouTube was so difficult for me to let go of. With some of the other distractions, the trade-off was obvious. Video games, short-form content, drugs. The downside was large and the upside was limited, but YouTube felt different. The upside seemed reasonably big. I thought I was learning, but eventually I started to look at it more critically. Does this actually give me clarity? Does it genuinely help me take better action? And do I remember most of what I watch? And honestly, not really. Listening to different people often made me more confused. One person told me to do one thing, and then another person told me to do the opposite. Instead of clarity, it was giving me doubt. And when I looked honestly at why I kept watching, I realized something. I wasn't always looking for knowledge, I was looking for stimulation. Another insight, another strategy, another idea. And it felt productive, but most of the time it was still consumption. So I started replacing YouTube with something else, and that was reading books. And this has genuinely been one of the best trade-offs that I ever made, because when I compare watching YouTube and reading books are better for me in 6 important ways. The first difference is depth. YouTube gives you the surface level version of an idea. The main lesson, a few examples, and maybe a couple of action steps. And then the video ends. And soon after, you forget most about it. A book goes much deeper. It explains where the idea comes from, why it matters, and how it works. And it approaches the same lessons from different angles. YouTube often gives the summary, and books the full argument. The second difference is quality. The barrier to making a YouTube video is extremely low. Anyone can turn on a camera, speak confidently for 10 minutes, and then upload it. And that doesn't mean that every video is bad. There are incredible people teaching on YouTube. But there is also a huge amount of noise. People repeat ideas they haven't tested, they oversimplify topics, and they speak with certainty about things that they barely understand. Books are not automatically correct either, but a good book often represents years of research, thinking, and experience. So the value to noise ratio is usually much better. The third difference is focus. Watching YouTube is mostly passive. You sit down, you press play, and you let the information happen to you. You can watch while eating, while walking, while checking your phone. Reading is different because it requires your full attention. You have to participate, follow the argument, and return to the page when your attention wanders. In the beginning, your mind will wander a lot. You will read a paragraph and then realize that you didn't understand anything. Then you go back and read it again. But that is the training, because focus just works like a muscle. If you don't use it, you lose it. And reading forces you to use it. So every reading session becomes a focus training. The fourth difference is rest. I used to watch YouTube when I felt tired or overwhelmed. I thought I was resting, but YouTube usually gave me more input, more voices, more ideas, more stimulation. It distracted me from the uncomfortable feeling, but the feeling often returned afterwards. Reading has a different effect. It slows me down and it gives my attention one place to go. Instead of switching between 10 ideas, I stay with one. That is why reading works so well for me when I feel overwhelmed or when I want to wind down before sleep. YouTube stimulates me. Reading settles me. The fifth difference is perspective. YouTube videos often feel like a cloud of dust particles. One small idea here, another small idea there, and then another creator gives you a completely different perspective. There is a lot of information, but it doesn't always form anything clear. Books feel more like stars in the sky. Every book gives you one clear point of perspective, one complete model of how someone sees the world. And the more books you read, the more stars you collect. Then you can start making connections between them. You can create constellations. You combine ideas from business, psychology, philosophy, and focus. And eventually you develop your own perspective. The sixth difference is novelty or new ideas. On YouTube, I often heard the same lessons repeated by different people. Wake up early, be disciplined, find your niche, post consistently, avoid distractions. The packaging changed, but the lesson was often the same. And because the algorithm learns what you already like, it keeps showing you more of the same. Books expose me to ideas that I would never intentionally search for. Older ideas, deeper ideas, and different ways of thinking. Instead of receiving the same lessons repackaged by the algorithm, I find ideas that are genuinely new to me. Replacing YouTube with books has genuinely been one of the best trade-offs that I've made. Just like video games for business, consuming for creating, and drugs for meditation. The new option is not always more stimulating, but over time it gives you something much more valuable, more focus, more clarity, and more depth. Now don't get me wrong, this is not an argument against every YouTube video. That would be slightly ridiculous considering where you are watching it. YouTube is incredibly useful when video is genuinely the best format. When you need to see how something is done, when you want to hear someone explain an idea in their own words, or when you are looking for a specific answer to a specific problem. The real problem when it comes to YouTube is endless consumption disguised as education. Watching another productivity video does not necessarily make you more productive. Watching another business video does not necessarily grow your business. At some point, more information stops giving you clarity and it starts giving you confusion. You don't need another strategy, you need to apply the one that you already have. So use YouTube intentionally. Only subscribe and watch the videos of 5 to 10 creators whose videos genuinely help you. Or use time blocking and schedule 1 to 2 hours to watch videos in the weekend. Decide what you want to watch before you start, set a timer, and when the timer goes off, you stop. Don't let YouTube decide what you watch next. YouTube gave me more options, and books help me stay with one idea for long enough to understand it. So make this the last video you watch today. Open a book and start reading.